do at the end of your video. That's right, I remember those.
Yeah, styles are cool.
When I was doing kettlebell sport, we didn't have those. It was always walk overhead.
All right, so that's a good little.
So here's a little, we'll just do a test. So I'd probably talk at this volume, blah, 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 you're moving, and then go.
I turned up the media volume, it's as good as it's gonna get.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna waste your time.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Checking the video.
gotcha, whatever you like.
Yeah.
All right, so starting whenever you're ready, we'll go over the 3, 2, 1 pattern. And what I'll do is take you down the same pathway as I would any other student, where you'll do this following about 10 reps of here, 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 and reset. We'll do about 10 of these, to where you're not bending over, your hands are staying pretty high up on your legs. Okay, so 10, and then we'll go here. You should
On 10 without the.
10 without, yep. So we gotta kind of phantom it. Alright, now drop in, and push back, good, and then make sure this space is connected. So you go ahead and get this versus this. Here's that daylight, here, here, here.
Okay.
Good. Go ahead. Yep. Keep your toes down. So the toes coming up is you compensating for the hamstring stretching. So we don't want that. You can go a little wider with your feet. That was much better. Seeing daylight through your arms, so kind of squeeze them a little bit longer. 3 more.
Now I can feel my hamstrings.
Yes.
Nope, that was a bad one.
Good recognition. Part of learning it is recognizing when it's not right, versus me always having to reinforce when it's right. Conscious.
Keep my head up.
Basically, wherever your pecs are facing is where you're looking. So if your chest, I always say,
Back straight.
yeah, whenever, I always used to say, look, you've got a flashlight right here, beaming straight out. So if the bell is forcing me to be here, then that's where you're looking where the flashlight is providing light.
Okay.
So it's providing light to the ground, so I should be looking there, not here.
I have a flat back problem.
Yes.
I just can't, so to this point, can't yet, I want to say that, I can't yet.
Yes.
Do it.
Get a couple more, and then we'll grab that kettlebell. Yep. Arms should be way down here. Straight arms, not this, but here, and then. So there's almost zero flexion at the elbow. There you go.
So it's more like this than it is like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a swing is only, it's just a prerequisite to clean and snatch. So it's going to raise up by using larger muscle groups than smaller ones. So whenever we can bypass using smaller levers, we're going to do that. Because again, we boil it down to what's most efficient. All right, let's go. Go and grab your kettlebell. And what you'll do is put it on the ground, and then you'll, exactly, well, I'll do it real quick, and then you can jump in before you lose the effect. I go triangle so that when I pick that up, what's going to happen? It's going to go backwards.
Yep.
So if I pick it up right here,
No momentum.
correct. So I go like I would almost like hike it up like that, so that when I go back to hamstrings. Go here.
Wasting the first rep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a half rep at the beginning. Exactly. Good recognition. 30 seconds. Ready, set, and go. All you're thinking about is trying to kick those knees back when your kettlebell goes back. Oh, you've got it. Oh, we're getting this today. That was one. That's what it should feel like.
Feel my hamstrings.
Yes, sir.
Not the glutes.
That's
Yeah.
fine. You're gonna, the sensation is gonna be hamstring stretch. Tomorrow's gonna be a rough day for you. You got it. Keep going.
Are my legs too far apart?
Nope. They're perfect for a single bell. In 3 more swings, I want you to switch hands at the top. ones, 3, 2, 1s. Find the rhythm again. You can bend over more at the bottom position. That's what's going to help you straighten your knees out.
It's a lot of moving parts.
It is, but you're getting it. Now, that was, the last 2 of them were really good. 5 more. And set it down. Good job. All right. Very good. I'd say 50% of those were exactly where we want to be. All right. When you watch that back, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see 2 good ones in a row, and then you'll see one. If you just kind of drag your finger across the timeline of the video, so it's kind of a slow motion video,
Yep.
you'll see like, oh, that was a crappy one. Oh, I lost the momentum, so I didn't kick my knees back. So you'll, rinse and repeat for 5 or 6 more workouts, and you'll say, now I've got it. Okay. It's all about spreading out tension, right? Because that's more efficient. Okay, so if I can, once this thing becomes 50 pounds, hypothetical, and you've got to slow it down. Because that's all that a swing is I'm decelerating, using that stored energy, and then producing force going the other direction. And then rinse and repeat for 23 minutes.
Feel it a little bit,
Yeah.
but not
Good.
that much. Not like I did when I was first, before I came and saw you.
Yeah. So let's kind of compartmentalize the 3, 2, 1. Say good. We just checked that off the box. Now we're going to add breathing to it. Okay. So we call it paradoxical breathing. So it's opposite of bench press. Okay. So if we're here, here's me benching. During the eccentric load, what do? Inhale, I get bigger here, and then tension, pressure, go. That's anatomical breathing. We're doing paradoxical breathing. So it opposes that. As I receive the weight onto my body, instead of expanding, I'm going to release air. Sure, yeah, absolutely. So you see the difference of this is one style of breathing, this is another style. You're naturally like on a back squat, or inhale down, exhale up. Anatomical breathing. Paradoxical. So they would be. Okay, we're not teaching that today, because that's not. You've got that down. But so when I'm receiving pressure, it's when the bell is coming close to me. When the bell is going away from me, that's when I expand and get some air in. So now we're going to flip your world upside down. So I'll exaggerate. Okay?
So it should be that exaggerated and that heavy?
No.
Especially with hyperventilated.
Right,
Keep going
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. That was me exaggerating for audio purposes.
So it's, do that backwards?
So inhale out here. Exhale as your arm basically hits you. As you absorb this, the more efficient way to do would be to cave and absorb. So if I'm pushing on your chest, now take a deep breath. Put your chest up. See how opposite that is? Force going this way and you're trying to go that way. Blood pressure rises. See, it's great for I'm going to do 1 back squat, 1 bench press. That's what that's designed for. 10 minutes of snatching a kettlebell. Complete opposite training system.
I bench press all the time. I'm always checking my heart rate on my watch, like nothing.
Right.
But I played around with this for 5 minutes.
Right.
And
So if you want to be able to do more work in less time, stronger, muscle stronger, lung stronger. You've got to be as efficient as possible. That breathing style is the efficient way of doing it. Okay, so again, like when you imagine me cleaning this 12, right? So as I receive it onto my body, so watch this. Out and out. It keeps me as relaxed as possible. Okay? So, now it's your turn. Out, in, out, in. Just a single breath, single breath. Okay? One breath for one breath cycle. Let's go for 10.
Well, it looks like an actor, and it's not Bill.
So, this is coming, I'm taking another breath. God,
I know.
what's
Get
wrong
ready.
with me, man?
That's why we didn't do this on day one. Inhale, exhale.
It's just those dreams that are longer throughout the day, maybe, which is the war.
The best thing I can probably teach you, keep going, don't stop, but just focus on exhaling as it goes through
I
your
get
nose.
the same way.
The inhale is gonna happen subconsciously, because that's breathing. Think about exhale. Exhale. Gives you only one thing to think about, because the other one's gonna happen regardless.
8 children.
2, 1, and switch hands, keep going. Good hand switch. Blow out.
10 adults.
Blow out. Right arm swings, right arm, get that right arm active.
And then 4 boys, left over.
3. Let me hear your exhale. Oh, exhale through the legs. And time, put it down. Good job. Another visual I've given people is there's a reproducing candle right down there where the kettlebell is. So as you go through your legs, that's your opportunity to blow out the flame. Okay. Whatever
Whatever it takes.
storyline it takes. I've told them all. The reason why we're hyper-focusing on swing mechanics is because it's 85% of it. As soon as you get that, then when we start going into cleans and jerks and all that, you'll be able to start teaching me and finishing my sentences because the foundational information is all built on this. You know, so as the weight's coming down from the press, you'll know to do what? Exhale, because it's hitting you. It's not a time to expand, it's a time to receive.
Yesterday was cooler than I expected. I went out to lunch with a friend.
Anytime you're receiving the weight towards you, so here I'm receiving it, here I'm receiving it, even there I'm receiving the stability demand. As the bell's in motion, I get my breath in, I expand my lungs. So receiving a jerk, you know, so if I'm here, okay.
I haven't tried a jerk yet.
What?
That's a whole nother style. It's amount of mechanics there.
I have done snatches and presses.
Yeah, a press. Okay, so let's go another set of swings, 10 right, 10 left. You're still recording?
Yep.
Good. I want to hear the exhale of you blowing out the candle.
That's gonna cinch it for me right there. Blood out the candle.
Good. I was like,
Well, we'll see.
yeah, of
I
course.
should have waited before I said that.
Yeah, I know. You're like, now I've got it. it. I'm not even gonna watch, I'm gonna listen. After 20, you can stop.
Thanks for that.
Good job. Okay, so. So this is sport training under root F. So 2 by 24 kg jerk for 5 minutes. 11. The idea was do 11 in the first minute, 11 in the second minute, and then speed up as you get tired. So it's,
So this is not emo.
no. Oh, no. This is, you don't put them down. I'll send you this video. There's that stack of the weights, right?
Yep.
Got a little slight lean back. See how when I'm catching, music playing. That's peak efficiency right there.
I haven't noticed like the tilt back.
Yeah. We're gonna go into rack position in the next lesson. This is all jerk. This is biathlon training. Snatch for 10 minutes, jerk for 10 minutes.
Is that considered a half jerk?
No, this is jerk.
Okay.
A clean and jerk is what's called long cycle.
Yep.
So at the beginning of the jerk, I dip to load my quads. I jump and I squat, kind of press into an under squat to get my hips involved.
You can push more weight overhead than you're,
Oh,
because you're
yeah.
kind of
Oh.
catching it
Yeah, you're-
instead of pushing
I'm
it.
moving down, so instead of actively extending, I'm passively extending and standing up with it. And that's the jump and drop. You see that? But it's a matter of trying not to squat that much, so you don't have to let your legs out too soon. This is a fairly challenging workout.
Oh, I watched your video, that competition.
The snatch one?
Holy cow,
Yeah,
man.
this was the training for that. So before that video, there's me doing this for 10 minutes, before that competition.
Oh, that was 100 and some reps you did.
Yeah, and that is 153. 153 is my PR. Really breathing now. I did it. Now I'm gonna hang on to it. Try not to hang on to it. If you don't lock the weights out, the rep doesn't count. You gotta pause up there.
Wow, man.
God, I just got tired watching that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that in a long time. Perfect. So yeah, I've got like a kettlebell sport intro, me kind of talking about it. I'll send that to you. But there's all sorts of shit. That one, World Championship there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm worried with all that. But
It's not boring.
that's so much fun. But so yeah, when you like what you just watched, the foundation of the breathing is what I'm teaching you today. It's anytime you're receiving or applying pressure to yourself or receiving, it's exhale. I go to punch you in the stomach, you don't want to try to resist that and expand. Just absorb it, let the air come out of the lungs. Okay? So when you go to clean the weight,
It's definitely not intuitive.
no. So you go to clean. Calm, calm. As I throw the weight that way, you'll hear me inhale. It just feels like jogging or like a brisk walk is the pressure that I'm creating. If you flip that breathing around, it's just, you're gonna get tired quickly. It's like holding your breath while you're jogging. Bad idea. Okay, last thing we do about the swing is the pronation. That's the other thing I added on, and then you can just kind of add the
That's just at the start.
That's every time. So, there. Is that bell?
Really?
Because, here's why. Any available joint that can move is going to help you receive the weight and slow it down, decelerate.
Okay.
Okay? So, the wrist is our weakest point. So when you go to swing that thing through your legs, the last thing I want you to do is let this happen. But I want you to rotate, because rotating involves the deltoid, the shoulder girdle, right? And that'll help slow it down. This, if you don't pronate, as soon as you go to double bell, if you don't pronate through here, you're going to have the weight here, and that's going to cause the wrist to do this underneath. It's called radial deviation. I'm going to wear that out really quick. This is the weakest part of the body.
So, but the other way doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, well, it won't happen because this is going to slow it down just like this would. I'd rather you pronate than deviate at the wrist.
More moving parts.
See how it's. When we talked on the phone, I was like, if you want, I said, you come to the right person if you really like information. So going
I want to do it correctly.
well, this is optimizing correct.
Proper form and all that.
Yeah, this is optimizing correct. It could be conceived as too correct. It's like, it's too nuancey, but it's how I was taught.
Yeah, but when you get down the road,
Exactly.
and you're doing what you just showed me on that video.
Exactly. You need to be able to fall back on foundational education, and this is why we chiseled away, because 5 years before that video was me doing that with double blue, half the weight, and struggling. My technique looked worse, my rep count was terrible, my breathing was out of control. I'm just learning, you know. So, for video's sake, it's still recording, I believe. As this comes down, this is just going to rotate right here. So you'll see it, boom, right there.
Yeah.
My hand is facing that way, but as it comes back up through the hole, at the top of the swing, it's back to a normal handshake. Give me a handshake, now put it away. Come up, give me a handshake, put it away. Not here, but here. Okay, you go. Thumb and first finger down. I like it. Keep going. Good. Your 3, 2, 1 is good. Now adding breathing. More. 1, 2. Switch hands. Continue. Pronate. More extension of the knee. Start to lose that hamstring. Kick backwards. you'll notice when you watch this back,
Oh,
the
yeah.
drastic difference of the kettlebell pathway from right arm to left arm. There you go. That's better. And rest please. Alright, you are ready for one of my favorite drills for newbies. Okay, take a little break. This is where having a second kettlebell is fun. Where you have a yoga block, some kind of like, you know, something like this tall. Right, so for me it doesn't matter, I'll just do this. Again, these are all just drills, but they feel like workouts eventually.
Oh, it's feeling like a workout.
Yes. So I use kettlebells for this, but if you want to use something else, you can. But the idea is to do that exercise without hitting that kettlebell.
Ah. I'm still a little bit low.
Yeah, it'll teach you to not do what you were just doing, because you'll immediately.
Well, I got more kettlebells.
Yeah, good. Well, then beat them up. Don't use them for like a circuit from like your online trainer guy, but like when you're specifically working on swing mechanics, there's like a separate, you know, like when you hit it, stop, reset it back up. You know, don't. I wouldn't use that in the middle of that video of that circuit you sent. You know, it's like that's a swing.
No, because you'll identify whether I hit it or not.
Exactly. So just like I told you in week 1, at the beginning phase, everyone is better with one arm on the swing pattern than the other arm. Your right arm looks really solid, looks like you've been doing it for about 6 or 8 weeks. And then your left arm just everything tightens up. This arm starts to get really statue-like, and this starts dropping really low. So now, we introduce that.
Put this right between my legs.
Yes, sir. And then just stand up with that. Don't worry about the normal start. Just stand up with it, and then you kind of build up and do about 10 reps. Switch hands, 10 reps. Main thing here is the 3-2-1, not necessarily the breathing part of it. And you'll know when you hit that thing. But the idea is, if you don't hit it, then you should be happy with where you're at.
There's a bubble on the knees when I concentrate on breathing.
A little bit, yeah. There you go. Switch. Good. Perfect going. And that would be the stopping point. Good.
Yeah,
What?
it felt different. I was concentrating on keeping it higher.
High. Higher means less bending over. Less bending over means less wear and tear on your back. Okay, it's a perfect little. So now let's have you rest again, and then we'll watch a snatch video. So you can't all just work out.
I was going to actually ask you if you could give me a workout.
Okay.
You know, based on where you think I am. Like maybe deadlift or rows, plus the swings, whatever you think.
Okay.
Always got to prepare. I feel like I'm going to take a second to.
Yep. Watch for the 3-2-1. It's minor because I just eventually, because of the momentum build up, you don't have to dive super far.
Was that a 20?
That's the 24.
24. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah. hikes back and hikes through. I lean back slightly as the barbell starts to fall, to not let it go in front of my body mass too much. If it goes out here, I've got all this leverage to deal with. If it drops flatter on a more vertical plane, it's not going to terrorize my back as much as it does out here. Does that make sense?
Yep.
A little kick of the right foot to help make it go north. Left foot stays down, right foot.
And what's the purpose of the right foot?
So by the right foot raising up, this is like, now we're getting a little TMI, we're way ahead of schedule. But that, again, like foundationally, I'm teaching you that, this section tied together.
Yep.
If I raise my right foot, you see how I just gained about 3 more inches of real estate? So I want to keep this connection as long as possible for as long as possible, time-wise. So watch. If I go here, and then bad technique, I pull early, daylight. Inefficient. I'm now using the deltoid too
You're
much
not using your hips.
before I even extended my hips, right? Now watch. Extend, extend, connection, float, release hand, shoot through, shift my hip underneath the weight. So now I'm here. I've moved, I'm not here, I'm here. So 70% body weight on my right foot, 30 on my left. And then watch what happens. As I go away, I shift it to the other side, let it fall. This heel comes up because it raises my ribs to my arm. So I connect sooner. This helps slow this down. If I did this, I'll show you for the camera's sake. Breaking the hip already, no connection here. Guess what happens? Whoosh, way through. My shoulder's gonna wear out in no time. Raise, connect, knee bend, drop, drop, drop. My spine, the arm is all the way straight down. The bell is here. And where's my spine? Completely straight up and down. Then with my whole body, I kick back. Versus, see the difference?
Oh yeah.
Lever arm is huge to here versus here. So arms in the same spot, but look at my spine. So we're hammering these mechanics now for the first month so that everything else we can build on, and you'll know how to critique yourself and go, yep, I moved my hips too early because I don't have any connection here. Daylight here, bad news for your back. Okay? All right, let's try one more time with the swings with the kettlebell. More lean back at the top of the swing. Really feel like you're going to fall backwards. There you go. And now we're breathing.
I'll blow out a candle.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, lost it on that one, sorry. But yeah, you're going to be able to recorrect it.
I can definitely feel it. But just remember, it's a matter of being aware that it's happening.
Yes. That's where, like, I don't want to say it's too soon to give you a workout. It's more that you would want to drill.
Okay.
You know, do 5 sets of 15 swings, but each set of 15 has a different intent to it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like the first set, your intent is, can I pronate my hand through the legs? Second set, you exaggerate your right arm free swinging. Third set is knee pattern. Fourth set is breathing. And fact, that's probably what I'd have you do. Yeah, so there's no pronation happening. Max, relax. Yeah, you gotta get a couple stars on there. You gotta get your bell looking like that.
Yeah.
So all that paint chipping happens when you've got double bells and the paint is clanging against each other. That's where you see that happening. All right, take a break.
I tried a couple of double bell things last night. I'm getting the hang of cleaning, I think. But they are noisy. My wife's up in bed. I'm
Yeah.
down there with a single kettlebell, silent as can be. Then I bring in the other one. Ding!
I remember that when because in the, I'd say 8 total years that it was the primary thing I did and taught. Lots of newbies, and then high retention. I'd have students for 5 years, and they got really good with catching it clean with doubles, and like it just makes a perfect little like shoot sound. But the beginner, it's like and then the downswing,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god.
Now I see why I do rubber coated kettlebells.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into double. Okay. So we're in camera view. Good. They would start out like that, kind of, not parallel. They intersect about right here.
Okay.
From a handle position. Now, with double bell, literally half the people I knew pronated, the other half didn't. I almost forgot what I did because I primarily did biathlon, meaning I never cleaned the kettlebell. I would clean the kettlebell once and then jerk it for 10 minutes. So like I didn't have to. So wider foot base. There's my triangle. And then for me, I would walk in back to here for jerk. This is great for cleans and squatting, but for pressing, I would be here. Oh gosh, this feeling. I just thought about that sound. So it's always one landing above the other, never alternating. Just go with one pattern.
Okay.
Okay.
What I figured out is the quicker I can shoot my hand through, the better it lands.
Correct. The later you go, so like when I go to shoot it, I shoot there, and then it just brings it in. Versus,
Oh, yeah. Bang.
I taught a million amateurs that, where it's like, oh, the bruise here, all that stuff.
So, what do you think about stuff like this?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
The
not,
only
I'm
thing-
not gonna be competing or anything.
Yeah. So wear those.
It has a,
The only downtrodden part of that is it will make shooting through fully a little bit more difficult. Because essentially you're making your arm thicker. But the only reason that would bother you is if you get into longer sets where hold there for camera purposes, that angle there, if this wasn't here, this would drop down to there and it would bypass that nerve I was talking about last time.
well, for now, I'll keep these on.
Yes. The only reason to take those off is for serious competition.
Well,
It was like a
I-
known thing.
I pretty well understand this concept.
Yes.
You gotta get it so it's doing.
Yeah, the flatter it is, the less you're going to wear out sooner. Layman's term. With more diagonal to handle angle, you'll be able to go all day. Let's get about 8 cleans, but don't be in a rush. Last one, let's stop it. Good, relax. All right, so now when you watch that back and you watch your swings and watch that, you're gonna see the bridge that we have to span to get the swing, the downswing of the clean to look like your swing practice from earlier.
With doubles.
Correct. Because you'll watch that video back and go, shit,
That sucks.
that looked awful compared to the progress of the swing. But that's the natural educational curve that you're on.
Yeah.
We knew that. I knew that was going to look super different in your swing. Because your swing's starting to get it.
I feel like the double, like I think I'm doing this. As I'm
Open
coming
knees.
through, I'm doing this.
Yeah. Here's why. If I can help you today on the double rack position, every time you clean the weight, I want to show this. I want you to watch this back later. So I'll face this way, but you can get the point.
Yep.
When you caught those 6 cleans, your hands were here.
That looks pretty good.
Ooh, no. So you want to make 2 kettlebells have 1 base of support.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do that.
There, which then narrows the kettlebells. So when you unwind them, they go right through that center spot that you've already created. Now,
Or over my center of mass.
yeah, exactly. So. So, maybe you go back to single arm, 1 swing, 2 swing, clean on 3. You'll hear your breath go into this like musical rhythm. Maybe 3 swings to 1 clean. Because if we start losing this, then you're still cleaning. Like those 6 right there, we got to try hard to not repeat that so that we're not, and that's where my job comes in. It's like, you can't do low quality repetitions for a workout's sake. Because then you're just reproducing poor patterns. So, let's try again with the idea of pin kettlebells in between your feet. And I want you to kick the knees back. And in rack position, you're correct. So you do about 5 of those. And then on 6, go ahead and pick them up.
So I'm not.
Don't worry about pronating. Yeah, I'd rather you get the knee pattern than worry about pronating. Because, again, pronating became a very prerogative thing in the sporting world.
Shins don't like that.
Yeah. Breathe. Good catch. Good catch. Yeah, so on the way down, you can't let them go this because they'll do what? Bounce and go wide into your shins. That's where you start to learn that neutral drop. Yeah, when it's 2x24, you're very wide awake. Technically, you're keyed in.
What do they say? There's nothing to be learned by the second kick of a mule.
Yeah, that's right. Just go wider feet for now. Yeah, make yourself comfortable. There you go. Bigger swing. Up, through. Up, through. Next one, clean it. Ready and clean. Then connect. One handle on top of the other, so it looks like an S. Yep. Boom, boom. There's your stack.
And elbows down.
As narrow as possible. Yes, with a good catch. Nice, good triangle. Take a break. We've covered a lot. That was
Yeah,
really good.
this, when I asked for a workout, I mean, just practicing this is gonna be a workout.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. It's like it would be irresponsible for me to like write you a workout. You know,
Sure.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
So one of the things I'm trying to do is introduce cardio and conditioning into my workouts.
Yep.
You know, I watch a lot of YouTube. I think they got a good guy on there for kettlebells, but he makes a distinction between hypertrophy and
Cardio.
strength, and then functional strength and conditioning.
Uh-huh.
But he says doing the swings this way, the sports style or the Russian style.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. She's been whispering to me the whole time you've been here that you look like an actor, and she couldn't figure out who it is.
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't know.
He and I have almost exactly the same story.
How do you even know the story? I mean, you look identical to him, minus the hair at the top.
He lost over 100 pounds, I believe.
Really?
So did I.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. He got really in shape for that one movie.
Yes.
What movie?
The the drummer movie.
It was killing me.
You,
He even has the same voice.
he's a State Farm guy.
You have the exact same voice.
He was the original State. Well, there was Jake from State Farm. Then there was him. No, he was Farmers. We
You're
are
right.
Farmers. Dum 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 dum. Yeah. Then now there's the other Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, his story and mine are so close.
That's cool.
And he started when he was like 68,
Mm.
which is what I am now.
He's an incredible actor. I like him a lot. Have you seen
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons? Have you seen Whiplash?
No.
See that movie. Wonderful movie. It's not a heartfelt movie, but it's incredible acting. He is
Oh, he's a consummate.
he is the ass whooping orchestra conductor.
I think I have seen that.
Holy shit! What a great
It's
movie.
been a while though.
Yeah, it's an old movie. It's old as in like over 10 years. Not like Chariots of Fire or anything, but old.
Oh, he's been in a million things. He's one of those guys. It wasn't until really recently that I knew his name.
Yeah.
You know,
Everybody knows him as, oh yeah, that
I know
guy.
that guy. What's his name?
Yeah. JR, JK. But now that you've videoed this and you watch it back, you'll know what you need to do for like a workout. You know, it's working on the swing pattern with all the separate intents. The free arm focus, the knee focus, the arm extended here but locked in here, not this but this. You know, and then add in cleans every once in a while, stack them. You know, wide feet, kick away, unfold. You know.
Should I stick with 8s?
You could go 10s.
Okay.
I mean, as long as your lower back doesn't start screaming at you. You know, if I clean, double 24s right now, I'd just be irresponsible. I can do it for
24 is another realm,
Yeah.
order of magnitude.
Yeah, we get the double 12s out next time we get together and we'll play around with those. You know, but for demo's sake, that's about as far as I'll go until I recondition myself for it. Because it's so, when you get in a rack position and you're here and you're extended forward and all that weight's stacking, you know, yeah, like that, the video you saw with the greens, the double jerk, you know, I drop them like that because unfolding like this to put them down is just not.
That's over 100 pounds.
Well, it's the fact that you've been locked into this position, and then you want to just comfortably bend over. You know, the 106, 53 inch in. You know, that's why I kind of step and drop them versus fold and drop them. So, very good workout.
This is great.
I need to get I changed credit card companies.
Okay.
I need to reapply.